So this is my second attempt on Eartips guide because I think the last one is a little bit too abstract and it's not easy enough to visualize what's happening there. This video will be separated into 4 sections. The first part will be about what to look for when trying to get the best in-slot eartips for a specific set for your ears. The second part will be about different brand or model of eartips that I had experience with and my general thought about it. The third part will be a mini guide on how to install eartips properly. The fourth part will be a conclusion part summarizing everything up with some extra tips to help you along. Without further ado, let's get started. There are mainly 5 elements that you may want to look into when choosing a pair of eartips for your beloved set, namely depth, width, size, shape, and texture. Since every eartips does have a unique tube length, you may end up with situations like this or this. And the worst case is, even with exactly the same eartips and earphones, if they don't have a stopper on the sound tube, someone will stuff the eartips all the way down, some in the middle, some just barely attached to it. And I guarantee you, they will not sound the same. Width. Does anyone still remember this pair of earphones? Yes, it's a Kilobug Shure SE846, which was infamous for their sort of proprietary eartips that looks like this. Now here's a quick question. Do you think your earphone will sound the same if you stuff this thing into it? No, right? I know it's an exaggeration, but you get the point. The difference in width of the eartips nozzle will cause differences in perceived sound, and you may experience it in the form of changes in bass texture, soundstage, or imaging, etc. Size. I used to have a misconception that if I use medium-sized eartips on 1 set, 2 set, 5 set, 10 set of earphones, I'm probably bound to use medium-sized eartips on every single set ever existed on the planet. That cannot be more wrong, because manufacturers do have different definitions on size. Some may be bigger, some may be smaller. Not to mention that if you want to tip swap on a set with a chunky nozzle, you may need a side stand to get better comfort. And there's one more tricky thing. Even if you're trying to use the same model of eartips on a specific set, you may have a perfect fit and seal in 2 different sizes. My recent and relevant experience was in EA500LM. I eventually decided to use small eartips because it can provide smoother treble extension to my ears. Shape. And there are different shapes of eartips, like a ball, bullet, or pillar, etc. And you will have different experience in terms of fit, sound isolation, and insertion depth. Texture. There's mainly 3 kinds of material: silicone, foam, and hybrid. And this video will mainly focus on silicone, because I hate the ideas of foam eartips, whereas I cannot sterilize it with a simple isopropyl alcohol wipe. Some silicone will be more sticky than others, some have a solid tube in the middle. And these kinds of specific build or texture will affect sound projection as well, and you will know more about it in some of the following examples. With that being said, these are all the elements you may consider when trying to get a best in-slot eartips for your earphones. Is it too complex? Don't worry, just use the default eartips or whatever you have in hand first. If you encounter problems in terms of fit or sound, now you have an idea. Like, is the nozzle too chunky, thus requiring a side stand on eartips? Or is the treble a little bit too hot, thus a deeper insertion depth is needed? You can fine-tune your IEM experience as long as you have an idea about what to do. Now we come to the second part of the video. Let's talk about some brand or model of eartips that I had experienced in the past. Final Audio Type E regular. This is an all-time classic, basically a jack-of-all-trades eartips. No matter what kind of earphones I throw at it, it just sounds quote-unquote normal. Currently I'm using it on Truth Ear Zero Red and Blue. There's a true wireless version of it as well, and it has a much shorter tube length. Currently, I'm using it on Blazing to Dusk, SpinFit CP series, another famous model known for their unique mechanic, that the sound tube can kinda bend in the middle, and thus easier to get a deeper insertion depth. Some may say it brings clarity to a warm set, some would say it makes things sound mechanical, but I digress. SpinFit Omni, a variant of the CP series, with better compatibility, and is versatile in different situations. I used to use it on Orchestra Lite, but now I switched it to Golden Ages. Moondrop Spring Tips, probably someone's favorite. It has relatively short tubing, a wide opening, and a semi-sticky kind of texture. Currently, I'm using it on Blazing 3. The following 3 sets of ear tips do feature some sort of mechanic that helps to reduce or balance in-ear pressure. If your ears occasionally experience pain upon normally using a specific pair of earphones, chances are a ventilation hole doesn't exist in your set, and you may find the following ear tips helpful for alleviating the issue. The Venus Violet. It has a very smooth surface, wide opening, and the shape is not a traditional ball shape. I used to use it on Monarch Mark II, Tangshu TSC ear tips. All I say is that the texture feels colder than normal silicone. Maybe it's because of the pattern on the surface? I've no idea. Currently, I'm using it on SE6 Mark II, 10-stream T300B and T. B stands for bass, T stands for treble. This is a perfect example to illustrate how length of the sound tube and width of the opening can affect sound perceived by our ears, at least from a manufacturer's standpoint, and you may take note from the difference in parameters. Currently, I'm using the treble variant on Orchestra Lite. Now back to normal ear tips without the in-ear pressure balancing mechanic. Exner Agnostic. This is one of the stickiest ear tips I've ever tried. It's very soft, almost gel-like. Depending on your preference on texture, you may either love it or hate it to death. There's a normal version of it as well, and it has a relatively hard or tough kind of texture. Dunu SNS ear tips. A rare ear tips with a pillar kind of shape, with a relatively long sound tube. In my eyes, it's a good replacement for Comply-Foam ear tips. If there's a size between medium and small, I would 100% use it on SE6 Mark II and more earphones. Soft Ears UC ear tips. A transparent ear tips with a semi-grippy texture. The sound tube is on the solid side. Acouston AET07 and 08. 07 is just a good all-rounded ear tips second to Type E in my opinion. And 08 features a solid sound tube all the way down to the opening. I used to use 07 on Alice. With that being said, no matter what kind of silicone ear tips you're looking at, the installation process is kinda similar. And here's a reference guide from SpinFit. Just simply flip the ear tips up, push one corner in first, and then gently slide the tube in. Flip it back, done. Now we come to the final part of the video. Let's summarize. No matter how or what to do with a pair of ear tips, at the end of the day, we just want to get the best sound and comfort out of a pair of earphones. Always start with the ear tips that came with your earphones, and chances are, most of the time they are good enough already. Like I'm still using default ear tips on some of my earphones as well. Even if you find it not good enough, you can consider using the ear tips that came along with other earphones before going for aftermarket one. It may surprise you. Do you know what kind of ear tips am I using on this pair of Monarch? It's just a random ear tips that I found from the free earphones that came along with my Samsung phone. Not any expensive ear tips whatsoever. And there we have the final tip for this video. Try your best to keep all the eartips in a place no matter how insignificant it seems, because you will never know whether a random set of eartips will eventually save your experience on an endgame earphones. So yeah, that's my attempt on a definitive eartips guide in 2024. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, like, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. And feel free to share it on different platforms to help new players out as well. See you in next video. Bye!